friends. This is Shekhar Mayanil. Thank you, Srikantji, and thank you so much, Alka-ji, for joining with me today. It's been an honor to. I was always hoping that. Remember, last time I had come, I told that we should share the platform somewhere, and of course, this is happening. And I'm so happy that you agreed to uh, uh, join me today. It is a topic of mutual interest, I think, and let's start. Okay. So this is the topic salutogenesis, which is basically understanding the source of health and well-being. So this is me and this is Alka. So this is a disclaimer that the content of this webinar are generally for health information only and not to be used as substitute for medical advice, diagnosis or treatment of any health condition or problem. So please consult your healthcare provider. And of course, Sri Yoga and us are not responsible for any liabilities thereof. If the only thing is, please do not believe anything I say. I am not here to convince anybody about anything. Always verify it independently from your own experience. This is my request to you all. Okay, so what triggered me to think about salutogenesis? Basically, Srikantji knows that I have been interviewing. I did interview in 7 different places at the NIH, and after 4th or 5th interview of the same department, eventually they said, no, we don't need you. I don't know why was that. And probably I think it must have been one of the places where I might have mentioned. I'm not sure, but it is quite possible I have definitely mentioned somewhere. So out of 27 institutes, almost all are dedicated to understanding the disease pathogenesis. And this is the place where I kind of thought that might have mentioned that. How come is that none of your institutes are into health thinking? Why are you only thinking about disease? So then I understood, oh, because I've been writing grants from NIH and I got a couple of them. So the only time when I did not get it, I thought I was only talking about the basic fundamentals aspect of that particular, let's say, brain or development of spinal cord or something like that. But I was not relating to any disease. So that's the reason they rejected. And whenever I correlated to a disease, then that's how I got the grants. So I say, oh gosh, this is the reason. So in Western medicine, health is defined as being free from disease. But health is not just being free from disease. So how about knowing the source of health? They want to know the source of disease. So whatever is in the source will be much more than what is outside, right? If you go to the source, let's say you go to the source, Lake Michigan, right? From where the Chicago River flows. The source has much more of that which is flowing out, right? So whatever is flowing out, which means the symptoms that are flowing out, obviously has to be much more at the source. So if they want to know the source of the disease, then they will find more of the same instead of health. If you try to go to the source of your health, then you will find more health, and understanding of that is so irrelevant. So that's the reason. So what is the source of our health? Swasth. In Sanskrit, the Sanskrit word health is called swasth. Aapka swasth kaisa hai? Aisa, this is what they ask, right? So as per yoga, swasth, health is free from afflictions of at the physical, mental, and social level, that's what is called swasth. The word swasth came from swastha. Swasth means swa plus sthit, which means self, established in self. To be totally established in self is known as health, right? And in Latin, the salutogenesis is what they call it, to know the source of that. So Latin salus is health and genesis is source. Therefore, salutogenesis is understanding the source of health and well-being. And this particular definition was given by Antonovsky from Israel. This guy is a very genius. I mean, I have read couple of his books, and it's just, and most of his papers, he is a genius. So I'm going to very stoned down the entire thing. I said, somebody said that I should not get inside out of my head. So I said, no way, it will go in your head today. I'll make sure that I'll make it very, I've toned it down whole lot, but I will explain. Even if there is some slides, there are some slides which are kind of complicated or maybe a little bit, I'll explain to it anyway. Okay. So pathogenesis versus salutogenesis. So let's say this is our life. We are just going on at a plain level, just doing stuff, going to do our job and coming back home and having vacation and going to some relatives and meeting friends. So general life is going on nicely, right? Little life stress happens. Say, for instance, a disease, somebody in our family happened to have a situation, or we lost the job, or something happened which causes little stress, right? And that tense feeling gives rise to breakdown and deviation from the self. So when you are in this purple line, straight line, we are in, so we are oblivious of our body. Whenever we are oblivious of our body, it is going on fine. Everything is fine. The moment something happens, then we have deviated from the self. And this develops into symptoms. And this is called disease pathogenesis, showing symptoms of ill health. And that symptoms of ill health leads to negative health. Whereas whatever that this platform talks about, Sriji talks about, Sriji not talks about, he actually does it. And Alka ji talks about and actually does it. What happens is we have, or our Sanatan Sanskriti does it, is remove this, okay, and this. And this is with what causes positive health. So this is exactly, this is what the Western medicine does it. This is what Sanatan Sanskriti does. So that's what we are going to be talking about. Okay. Pathogenesis is what causes the disease. This is what there is a, I don't know whether you have heard people talking about, I am a problem solver. Whereas some people say, I am a solution finder. There is a difference in the thought pattern. So this is what it is all about here. Pathogenesis is what causes the disease, or how does absence of disease rather than the presence of health, the what causes the disease, what is the, how do we tone down our pain or loss. So this is the prepare ones to live. Whereas salutogenesis is what causes health. Let's talk about vibrant health and growth and gain and things like that. Discover how to live fully. This is what salutogenesis is all about, and that is all linked to Sanatan Sanskriti. Our Sanatan Sanskriti has that kind of wealth of knowledge about health. Okay. Now this is another line here, health line, I would say. This is disease, right, over here. And this is ease. This is salutogenic and this is pathogenic. And the quality of life over here is deterioration, and it is less than 3. In the scale of 0 to 10, the quality of life is approximately 3, which means they just want to live just enough so that you don't die. Whereas our concept of thinking is extremely different. It is health enhancing. How do we help? How do you go about? This is what the next evolutionary human evolution will become like. If we are stuck here, we are not evolving. This is the place where evolution will happen. So if we can take care of our body and our health and our everything else, how do we do that? Sriji knows, Alka ji knows, and I'm just telling how it that works. So anyway, so we have to increase this quality of life from 7 to 10 perhaps. 10 is like absolute most fantastic health. And there have been cases in India where Bharat, cases in Bharat, there we have had extremely vibrant health people have. Okay. So how to bring about this radical shift in thinking from disease pathogenesis to salutogenesis? This is the question that we are trying to. Busting the old paradigm requires metacognition. Now, cognition is simple. We have this cognition thing going on, but metacognition is thinking about how to think, thinking about what we are thinking. These are the things that metacognition requires. And it is from what did I do today to treat disease? If this is the present day's understanding of all physicians, what did do today to treat disease and illness? Whereas salutogenic doctors are like that. What did I do to promote health and wellness? So this is a difference. He is so bent upon out of shape, he's not even smiling. And this fellow is so smiling very well. Why? Because he knows what will make my patient become better and vibrant. So understanding metacognition, again, there are 4 different quadrants I'm making. Deliberate, whatever action we do, either it is a deliberate or rapid, unconscious or conscious. So if we have this 4 different modes of our action, then rapid cognition, which basically is because makes you an expert performer, uses cognitive intuition. Okay, whereas the metacognition fellow reflects, and he constantly self-assess himself, even though however much, like in Japan, there is a concept called Kaizen. Kaizen means no matter how good you are, no matter how good the product is, there is some scope of improvement, no matter how brilliant it is. So this is the kind of assessment they use, the metacognition, this is called. The reflection, the self-assessment, and they have a very high motivation level, and they always seek feedback from people. Whereas over here, I just said so, and that's it. This is how they behave. They say, "Oh, let me know how I can improve better." This is the difference, and this is exactly what yogi does. All yogis do this. They always are keen on listening to people. So basically, what we do is we spend most of our time making a living instead of living life, right? So Sri Krishna talks about Swadharma. Now, why do we make a living all the time? Because we are not living in Swadharma. If we live in Swadharma, there is we live life, and in the process, living happens anyway. So this is happened. So self-actualization by Abraham Maslow also talks about the same thing. Self-actualization, nothing but another term for Swadharma. Aristotle talks about eudaimonia, and it is the life well lived without any regrets. So he talks about ikigai is the Japanese culture, which means that they have lived the life to the utmost purpose. Absolutely, like I was just reading a book which I shared with Govind, that graceful exit. How do people in different tradition exit life gracefully, beautifully? They just said, okay, I'm going tomorrow, man, I'm done, and they just gone. How do they have no such hang-ups about on holding life, because they know I have done it all, and I'm perfect. So fulfillment is another purpose, ultimate purpose, and gives the meaning. The ultimate purpose is to make a meaning. So if you have read the book Man's Search for Meaning, it's all about World War II. He explains it very nice. All this enables one to have a sense of coherence, right? Essential for salutogenic well-being. The sense of coherence. What does sense of coherence mean? According to this gentleman, Aaron Antonovsky, who have worked tremendously on this subject, when you have a sense of coherence, you see the world as something that is manageable. If we are out of control, if we are too much stressed out, you find that you cannot even manage your kitchen. That type of incoherence living happens, and you cannot understand yourself nor others, and your life is absolutely meaningless in the lack of sense. Whereas the sense of coherence, you know life is manageable, world around you is manageable, you can understand others, and your life is meaningful. Okay. So, but despite all that, there is in this kind of a system, I was trying to question, is there any way I can do better than Antonovsky? So he talks about manageable, but there are still this duality, tolerance and intolerance, understanding in the concept of understanding others or ourselves. There is a trust and distrust also going on. Whether can I trust my own thoughts? This is another challenge that most people have. Can I trust my own thought? What's the proof that I have? It's too much going into analytics. It's not a somewhat it's basically deleterious to your own health. And meaning, finding meaning. Is there any zest for life, or is it just that there is some anxiety and depression constantly happening? There is a you have to play this. So because both of them happen, sometimes you're tolerating somebody, then other time you are intolerant. Sometimes you are trusting somebody, and other time you're not trusting somebody. Sometimes you feel, so it's like a bipolar disorder, right? So it's kind of yo-yo effect happening. This is purely because it is still outside, in the realm of outside. So if you're in the realm of outside, nothing happens. This, as Mike Robbins talks about, nothing changes unless you do. You have to change first in order for change to happen. And that is exactly what Wayne Dyer, one of my mentors, he talks about. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at changes. Amazing. I just love this particular quote by Wayne Dyer. Uh, this is because this is the place where experience happens. You are the place where experience happens. And if that is not changing properly, then whatever that reflects, this is turbulent, whatever the impressions or images that are formed in your well-being, in your being, will be turbulent. So this is, nothing changes unless you do. Okay. This is gentleman, William Osler, is the founding professor of John Hopkins, close to your guys and your neck of the woods. A good physician treats the disease. A great physician treats the patient who has the disease. That is most powerful, and this is absolutely going the opposite way these days. I'm sorry to say, but that's how it is. How many people have watched Patch Adams, the movie, right? You treat a disease, you win or you lose, right? You treat a person, I guarantee you will win no matter what the outcome. Now, what do you think Sri Krishna was? A good physician or a great physician of all times? I think he was a great physician because he treated Krishna, Arjun. Arjun having all this and that, he was talking out of control. He was not in a position to fight the war. I mean, fight the war means fight our life situations, right? This is so. Krishna did not say, okay, did not give him the protocol. No, no, go backside and then you kill that fellow, or throw this arrow, throw Brahmastra, throw Pashupatastra. He wouldn't say that. He said he treated him first. So that is the sign of a great physician. Now, salutogenesis is actually lifestyle changes, food habit changes, relaxation, yoga nidra as you call, yoga, pranayam, Sanskrit mantra chanting, Brahmari pranayam. Now, Sanskrit mantra chanting, this is called Sanskrit effect, which I will be talking on 24th, I think. Yeah, how Sanskrit can improve our memory and everything else, our brain health, essentially, our essential health. Of course, little portion of it I will be talking on the 9th, I think. On nurturing the brain. So this particular portion will be, little bit of this will be talking here. Now, the metacognition concept essentially means that you have to think totally different. The true healing happens in consciousness space. This is the most important. If there is nothing else, you take it from today's presentation, this is it. True healing happens in consciousness space. Any protocol which leads you to this attitude of gratitude. Now, most people will say, well, I have lost it all. Like, I am already 75 years old now. I don't know whether I'll be able to remember Sanskrit, or cannot do pranayam. I cannot do yoga. I can't sit straight. I can't sit on the chair or even. So it's kind of a very difficult. I mean, what all food habit, what else can I eat? I mean, there is nothing else. I'm eating boiled vegetables anyway. So, but the only thing, if suppose that is the case, in many cases, many places, this is happening, can you thank for whatever things you have? Can you, whatever you have, can you just thank? That's it. You have hands, yes, thank you. You have a bed, thank you very much, bed. There are a lot of people who don't have that. You have a kitchen, oh yes, thank for the kitchen. Just start thanking. And you know what? This attitude of gratitude is at the very core of metacognitive thinking, or metacognition, I would say, thinking about thinking. This is ultimate. Whatever these things do, or these things do, or these things do, this itself alone can do it. I'm telling you, this is serious material I'm talking. I'm very, very deep. What it does, it gets you into the consciousness space where nothing really matters. And that's where the healing happens. I think there is somebody who is drawing it on the thing. So can you please? Yeah, there's somebody who is drawing it on the just click that portion and again it will be gone. So salutogenesis is basically understanding holistic health. What is holistic health? Let's talk about that. Let's define it. What is holistic? What is health, swasth? And what is holistic health? Okay. So what is holistic? The word holistic simply means addressing the whole person. This includes all aspects of his being, a person's physical, emotional, mental, social, spiritual, and financial health. All of it is very, very important. Addressing the whole person. If any of this is missing, it affects the health. Okay, it affects the whole well-being. Then this is what it is. Addressing the whole person is at the heart of salutogenesis. Okay. Now, what is health? It is free from any afflictions at physical, mental, and social level. Right? As I told you earlier, swasth, to be swam is sthit, which means swam is health, self. Sthit means to be established in. To be established, totally established in self is called health. So that is the reason, that's what I said. The consciousness space is that is that consciousness space. If you get established there, then everything is perfect. So that is the source, which has plenty of it. Like it's a Niagara Falls of the source of everything. That's what it is. And holistic health is an approach to wellness that simultaneously addresses physical, mental, emotional, financial, social, spiritual component of a human being. Okay. Now let's ask the question, why do we want to be healthy? I mean, why is it that we want to be healthy anyway? Remember, there was a question that in Vikram's talk couple of weeks back, he talked about the desire thing, the lack of. Why do we keep wanting desire? Because we will talk about that a little later. It's the same thing here. Why do we want to be healthy? Why do we want to have a desire? Or why do we want to do whatever we wanting to do? So this is what it is. So basically, the answer comes to the fact that all we want to do is we want to be healthy because we want to be happy. We don't want to be concerned of our pain, concerned about, or did you take the medicine today or not, or concerned that, oh, I missed this particular thing or this, that. Why? Why do we want to be healthy? Is because we want to be really happy, actually, right? Now, the question is, why do we want to be happy? That's where it gets stuck. So we do not have the answer. Why do we want to be happy? Because we want to be happy. I mean, there is no this. It's a circumlocuted thinking here constantly. Here, we want to be happy because we want to be happy. There is no particular reason why. So let's derive it. So if this is what I have actually got written in this is the example my dad gave me. So I'll just repeat that. Have you seen rivers? Where do they go? Are they going up the mountains? No, they are going to the ocean, right? So why they are going to the ocean is because that's where they came from. You take a flame, a candle, and light it. The flame goes always seeks the sun, because that's the source of all the fire, right? In the world universe, sun is the source of all fire. That's why the flame always seeks the sun. Even if you tilt the candle this way, that way, it doesn't matter. Same thing is soil. If you take a handful of soil and drop it on so where does it go? Back to earth. Why? Because that's the source it came from. So we know that. Why do we want to be happy? Is because we have come from the source. The source. We have observed that things gravitate towards the very source they came from. In the same analogy, we can say that we gravitate towards happiness or bliss. The reason is because that is the source we came from, right? Which is bliss absolute. Okay. And a common man will say, I know that bliss is important to me, but I get blisters. Why do I get blisters all the time? Why is it my life not moving as per my satisfaction? Because all we did was we developed the wheel. So we have created this particular thing. We have done okay with physical. We have done okay with mental, emotional, financial, family wise, social, environmental, everything. We did it. And this moves. This gives us a false notion of, oh, my life is doing fine. How many people you have met that they say, well, how are you doing? I'm doing okay. So, okay, great. After sometimes stuff happens. Remember that particular stress, little bit stress happens. So one small situation, let's say um, somebody in your family dies, or you lost a job, or your company filed for bankruptcy. Think like the sudden changes can affect the whole thing. How does works is because we did not have a hub rod in the center. This wheel was apparently appearing as if it is moving, but this is what happens. One small challenge and that's it. This is gone. Can this wheel move? No. And or this, it is a bumpy ride, don't you think? So basically what happened is the Upanishads, that is Sanatan Sanskriti, oh, how beautiful. It says it out loud and clear that our essential nature is Sat Chit and Anand. Sat means truth. Chit is existence. And Anand is the exponential expansion of this, is Anand. So this is, now this particular thing is the hub rod, right? Hub rod is the dharma, dharma adhuri. This is exactly what the hub rod, if you, that which supports and sustains everything is called dharma. That which supports, upholds, supports all the elements that we have of a good living is held by that. So absence of this will give you a false notion that things are moving. One small challenge and it's over. It's gone apart. So this is this is the source of actual holistic health. Okay. So this is the real source. So the holistic health model says, take care of the physical, nutritional wise, sleep wise, mobility wise, walk around, drink enough water, activate your tactile receptor, means do massage and all that, vagus nerve activation stuff. Feeling of security is very, very important for holistic health. Having choices is very important. Follow routine, be consistent in your action, yes, yet be flexible. Nurturing, take care of yourself properly. Be present to someone. That's also very important. The presence of you being for someone is extremely important. Show respect, empathy for people, and recognize that the person exists rather than the person. So in old people, the biggest problem is that they feel they have done everything for everybody around them, and nobody is taking care of them. Nobody even recognizes their presence. This is the biggest challenge that they have. So it's good thing to recognize that and show that they do exist. That helps a lot. Just by saying hello, dad, or hello mom, or hello uncle, or whatever that is, just go and sit there 5 minutes. All they care is just somebody's recognize their presence. That's all they care. They don't want to discuss a whole lot of Vedanta and all that. So anyway, play, have fun, be like childlike. Always be childlike. It's the most important thing, I think. And be inquisitive. Let's just like child is a very inquisitive person, right? They just want to know what it is all about, and they're constantly solving problems of some sort. I have had uh, several children in my neighborhood. They come in my backyard and they have fun, and so they discover a lot of things and come and talk to me about what they discovered. So anyway, so this is their triggering imagination and creativity. Of course, music is very important. Anybody in our audience has a music fascination, hats off. This is ultimate deal, because I have not seen a single people who have music taste or music and love for music ever have a neurodegenerative problem. Never. I haven't seen anybody yet. So if there is a music lover around here, if you're not, go for it. If you don't know music, start learning music. It's beautiful. Okay. And this is the basis of if you have add to this the spiritual hub, everything falls in place. Otherwise, this whole thing will go away. Even though this is good, it will go away. So now Alka ji will talk about the balancing of Vaat, Pitta and Kapha Doshas as it applies to salutogenesis.
Thank you so much, Shekhar. And first of all, it's actually my honor to be on this platform standing with you, with the high capacity scholar like you. I'm just going to try my best, whatever I know.
Thank you. Thank you. It is all the grace of the Lord, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen here. Can you all see it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So as we were talking about the balancing of the salutogenesis, and even to talk about salutogenesis. So the part which I'll be focusing on main is the Ayurveda, which is our ancient science, and we are blessed to be born in the country where this science has been originated, and we already have that. You call it as a gift or an intuitive feeling inside of us, which we follow every day with the Ayurvedic lifestyle. And if you think about our ancestors, our mother, our father, our grandfather, grandmother, they were all following the same lifestyle. And you can see the differences between their capacity of living lives, their way of looking into the life is different from us over here who are staying a little bit further from the country. So basically, what is Ayurveda? Ayur is nothing but science. Ayurveda is basically the science of life. And it's based on the principles to keeping our body into the balance, just the way Shekhar was talking about. It's a balance of vitality and the good health together. So spiritual and the physical balance together. That's what Ayurveda teaches us about. So even though this is an ancient medical system, you call it as, but the main focus of Ayurveda is to treat a person, or rather to focus on a person rather than a disease. So it starts with who you are and how to balance yourself rather than looking at to a disease. So instead of saying that why this, why even the disease to be treated, instead of that, just take a look at why this person has a disease, why this is the capacity, why this person's body is dealing with such kind of system. So we are actually focusing on the whole personal body inside rather than the disease actually to look into. So there is a beautiful relationship between yoga and Ayurveda. So they are there. You can call it as yoga is one of the aunt of Ayurveda, or you can say it as an elder sibling of Ayurveda. It's based on the same science, same mental and spiritual philosophy. But Ayurveda focuses mainly on the your inner bodies, or of course it overlaps with the mind. If you do not have the healthy mind, there's no use of having or even though whatever you try, you're not going to achieve if your mind is not stable. And yoga focuses mainly on the mind and your spiritual progress. You see yogasanas and the new things, or you see the yoga studios, and those things are related to that. Of course, those are the further you can say, revolutions which has happened, but mainly yoga focuses on your mind and your spiritual progress. Now, there is I would say, a slight difference between yoga and Ayurveda, even though they come from the same sources or they are related to each other. Ayurveda comes from the philosophical systems. It's called as a Samkhya. It's spells as sometimes Sankhya, or it's Samkhya. So it's one of the philosophical system which Ayurveda comes from. And yoga is actually one of the system itself. So they are yoga, Sankhya, and there are other three philosophical systems. So they regenerate everything together. And out of that, Samkhya actually give birth to Ayurveda. So they are related to each other. Now, as we all know, our bodies are just, you can say, it's a physical appearance, but we are all made with Panchamahabhutas. Whenever a person passes away, we have rituals which are done, or even the things which are done basically for Panchamahabhuta. Even you say the origination, like Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, they are also symbols of doshas. Brahma, you can say he's a creator, and we are going to talk about dosha in another slide, or next slide, which is coming up. So he is actually a creator, which is nothing but, imagine it as Vaat dosha. Then the Vishnu, which is actually a person who is the one who takes care of the universe, or he is like who maintains the universe, and he is nothing but Pitta dosha. And third one, which is Brahma, Shiva, who is finally the one who takes care of after that. So we can call him as a Kapha dosha. So it's those are three doshas together. But those three doshas are originated, or rather, we all are made up of 5 different, or Pancha Mahabhuta, which is the space, ether, fire, which is Agni, air, which is Vayu, water, which is Jala, and earth, which is Bhumi. So we are all nothing but we are seeing ourselves as, oh, this is our skin, this is how you look. But we inside all are made with, we are all equal. We are all the same universe, we are just nothing but part. These are the 5 elements together. The only difference is one person, or the person A, might have a different amount of one element, the other in comparison to the other persons. But we are all having, or we are all the part of the universe with all Pancha Mahabhutas together. Now, when these 5 elements come together, when they are fused together, they are called as doshas. So all of us, as I said, we are all, there is no person without one single dosha born. We all have all 3 doshas within us. Like Vata dosha is the fusion of air and also the ether. Pitta dosha is the fusion of the water and the Agni. And Kapha dosha is the combination of water and the earth. So without 3 doshas, your body cannot function. It's not possible to have only 2 doshas or only 1 doshas inside your body. All our elements or all our organs are, rather, they are completely governed by these doshas. They have their own particular way of functioning with the way the doshas function. Now, how does this dosha affects our body? So just take a simple example of, I would say, digestion. So when you take the food in your mouth and start eating that, and when the food passes through our digestive tract, the first dosha which comes into picture is your mucous membrane, the one which you need the saliva. That's a Kapha dosha, which starts putting the things inside your body. Then you need something when it goes down in your Jatara, which is your stomach. In there, you need something to actually metabolize it, something to actually start making or start digesting the food. And there is the Pitta dosha. We call it as Jataragni. From there, it passes on. We need something after the Anna Ras is created, or when the Rasadhatu is, or not Rasadhatu, but the Ras is created. You need that Ras, or you need that nutritive nectar to be passed on to different organs. And that dosha, which is important in that category, is Vata dosha. If that dosha is not there, your body will not function. So these 3 doshas, they work together to have a complete metabolism or complete working of our body. So without those 3 doshas, only it cannot work. Like it's like a rickshaw, like 2 wheels and 1 front wheel. So without 1 wheel, it will not work. So there is the difference. You must have heard always these 2 terms, Prakriti and Vikruti. So Prakriti is the one which comes with the three doshas. As I said, we all have three doshas with the different types or with the different amount. Rather, one person may have two different doshas in the higher amount rather than one dosha, or maybe a person is only one dosha dominant, or all three doshas are there, they are equally dominant to each other. So depending upon that, that has been decided when a person actually, or when a mom conceives. So that dosha has been done, or that dosha is passed on to you during that conception time. And that's another reason why in our science also, in ancient sciences also, or even in our religion, we say that whenever a mom is pregnant, when a lady or the mother is pregnant, then most of the time you have to make sure that she's been nurtured well. You give her the very happy and the healthy environment around her, because the womb, in the womb, the fetus which is growing is actually absorbing everything what is being fed to her physically and mentally. So that is very important during the conception time, how you actually create that dosha inside her. Genetic, of course, is a factor, but the other things can be created inside the womb of the mother. When the person is born, after that, because of its habit, because of the circumstances, because of his thinking, because of whatever he chooses around him, there will be a Vikriti. Vikriti is nothing but the temporary change in your doshas. And believe it or not, there are some people who actually live with the Vikruti for sometimes throughout their life because they don't know what is going on, what has been changed. So the most important part when it comes to balancing the holistic health or focusing on the holistic health is not only important to know your Prakriti, but also important to know where you stand, what is your Vikruti. If you're finding the changes happening, because your bodies are super computers and they will never go just like, I'm not giving you any indication. It's not like that. The body is always giving you either micro or macro indications. We just have to understand what those indications are, because whatever you eat is going to show upon on you. The way you think, it's going to show upon on you. So it's important to know your Prakriti and your Vikruti. This is just the example of how the short form is given in with the Ayurvedic practitioners, or even in Ayurveda. This is a very simple form. You can even get it in. It's available everywhere on the a lot of Ayurvedic sites. And if you're interested, I can send you the forms as well. Or whenever you meet on the Shri Yoga Day, I can hand it over also. Just to have it to know who you are and where you stand and what you are supposed to do when in that particular dosh. And one thing we all have to remember, there is no good or bad about the doshas. If one person finds that I'm more towards the Vata side or I'm more towards the Kapha side, because this has always been seen that Kapha dosha, we try to grab more and we try to find, or I try to manifest that, oh, we are more onto the Kapha side. Some people are not. Some people are the combination. So there is nothing good or bad about it. You just love who you are. If you're born with Vata, love yourself and take good advantage of what you can do, a maximum of having that Vata dosha nurturing always, and to take the advantage of it. Now, along with the dosha, those 5 elements are also, the doshas are also impactful on our life. Those are how we eat, what we do, what are our activities. So it's ahar, vihar, and vichar. All these three things are important to make sure that whatever you are actually doing throughout your life or throughout your day, besides just eating or besides what you feed yourself, is also important. If we start from the sunrise at 6 a.m., so this is just a general thing, though. This does changes with few seasonal changes. But when a person starts your day at 6 a.m., this 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the time of your kapha dosha dominance. That is the time when you start practicing your yoga. You take your self-care rituals like doing abhyangasana or doing whatever your meditative states are. Those are things which are being practiced during this particular time. So if a person sleeps during this time, his kapha dosha will be prominent. It will be aggressive, and you will start building up you will have obesity getting developed. You'll start being lazy. So these are the things which we have to follow. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., this is the most important time in Ayurvedic lifestyle, because that's the time when you have a highest or the strongest Jatharagni, strongest Agni of your stomach, because we just follow the Surya mandal, or the sun clock, you can say. So as the sun goes higher, and this is the strongest of the sun. Fire is nothing but the fire element is nothing but the sun you're talking about. that sun is when it is strongest on the top of our head. Even our Jataragni is the strongest. So whatever you eat during that time, that get digested well. So that's why the lunch is very, very important when it comes to the Ayurvedic lifestyle. So make sure that you're eating well or eating that particular time to have a good digestion done. Then from 2 p.m. to the 6 p.m., it's a high Vata time where you actually be more creative, something which whatever needs to be lined up from the creative side, that needs to be finished up first. And this affects what you eat here. If you are eating a very high carbohydrate food, not having enough balanced meal, then you are going to be lazy again. So your Vata will go down and Kapha will start increasing. So it's very, very important what you eat, what you take. And again, not only generalized food, you must eat according to your body type. Just because person A is eating a particular meal will be suitable for the person B, it's not like that. It's very, very important to have if our fingerprints do not match, our fingerprints are different. Every person's fingerprint is different. How can there will be a one size fits all for all of us? The food changes. Yeah, there are some generalized food categories, of course. But if you start nurturing your own doshas, that will be helpful to actually have your longevity and the good life. Then from sunset to the 10 p.m. where sun is setting down, then even your Jataragni is actually going down. So that's the time you should take a lighter dinner. So your dinner time should not be very heavy. Try not to have too many things eaten at the dinner time, which exactly opposite we do here. Because our late parties and what our functions and all our socialization, everything happens during this time. This is the time when the things are actually, when they are supposed to calm down, this is actually the highest time where people enjoy much or more or try to do it more. And this is the time we should have a self-care practice. Abhyanga in this time and this time, that Kapha time Abhyangas are very, very, very important to make sure that you're getting ready for the bedtime. Because your body understands when you're doing Abhyanga, it is time, Nasya, it is time to go and get into bed. Now, Pitta time is again when the digestion is happening. So if you see top, it's like facing each other. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., this is the time again where your digestion is happening. If you eat during this time, you are actually going reversed way. You should not have, they should become shutting down your meal basically around 7 to 8 p.m. to make sure you have enough time frame to start your digestion at this time. Then again, the Vata period starts from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. This is the second cycle. And that's why lots of yogis, they meditate during the time of Brahma Muhurta, which is around 4 a.m., which is the best time to meditate for the meditations. A lot of people. And why to even go out? We have Sabnis Kaka who actually wakes up around 4:30 and starts his practices or daily routine during that time, because that's the best time to actually start your day and meditate during that time. So this is how our cycle goes. Now, this is just the creative side of Vata, because Vata has the most creative and they are the out-of-box thinkers. They are more artistic. So if you take an example of building a bridge project, so the first person who actually will design the bridge, how it will look like, is going to be the Vata people. So they are the most creative ever. Without them, this universe will not have a creative people inside. Then when the creativity of the bridge is done, the design is done, then you need the engineers actually to start getting this management done. And that is our Pitta people, who are actually the best managers, best go-getters during that time. And then you need a group of workers, that the hard-working people who can, without them, no matter what these other people do, that's not going to be possible. And those are our strong Kapha people. They have the longest sustainable stamina, because no matter what, even though they look a little heftier, but they are the most, we can say, most reliable in the stamina, because they can go for hours and hours without even food. Their capacity of having, like you can say, they are the best people for doing the fast. So they are the best ones to go for the longer stamina. So it's all the teamwork which happens together. So just a suggestions for Vata, that since their properties are air and ether, they are light already. They are cold. They are also a little bit dry, because air is a dry form. So the diet always should be a little bit warmer, a little bit moister and heavier, so they can start to have some anabolic action getting built. So this is general suggestion for the Vata people. So you must know what your constitution is, and also you must know what your Vikruti is. If that is been building up, then that needs to be pacified as well. Then balancing Vata, nurturing food, as I said, easy to digest, warm, should be filling, a little bit heavier meals, like, and very regular meals. For Vata people, it's never recommended to have a long fastings. You should always have frequent meal for Vata, like having 2 to 3 hours, because they have Visham Agni. So one day they have good Agnis, next day they might have a lethargic Agni. So it's very important to know that what your constitution is, and it is, if it is needed, you must eat within 2 to 3 hours of time. Then it comes for Pitta. Pittas are again go-getters. Fire is their symbol, fire and water. So they are the combination, opposite combination of each other. So their diet suggestions are always a sweet. And when we are saying sweet, I'm talking about the taste, the Ayurvedic taste of it. I'm not asking you to grab jalebis and laddus and gulab jamuns from the stores. This is more of the sweet category food you're talking about. So sweet, astringent, bitter tasting food like dates, butter, ghee, that's the something which calms down the Agni. When you make, if you remember, when we do any kind of puja at home, there's to Agni, we actually give ghee. Those are our traditions. So this is something more suggestive for Pitta people. Same thing for Kapha. Kapha people are actually, it's a combination of your water and also your earth. So they already are very heavier side already. They are actually heavy and also you can say very cold. So cold and heavy is the combination. So for them, the best food choices are spicy, bitter, and astringent. Any kind of hot spices and lighter food it's suggested. So mustard oil, pepper, there are lots to talk about. This is just the general idea to give you. So this is all we were just talking about. I hope I met your expectation, Shekhar, whatever it was. But thank you so much again. Thanks a lot.
The entire audience shall thank you for the rest of their life for that presentation of yours. It's just fantastic.
Thank you.
Super awesome.
आय वुड से की आज तुम्ही हे दोघांनी जे केलंय ते तुम्ही अतिशय विचारपूर्वक केलेलं आहे, पण ते अतिशय उपयुक्त आहे. कारण बऱ्याचदा असं होतं की एक बाजू ऐकली जाते, पण त्याबरोबर खाण्याच्या वस्तू किंवा आपली शरीर प्रकृती काय आहे हे याचा कोणी अभ्यास करत नाही किंवा त्याच्यावरती कोणी बोलत नाही. पण आज तुम्ही त्याची चांगली सांगड घातली आहे. अप्रतिम. थँक्यू.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I have another few slides to share, and after that I'm done. Just few wrapping up slide actually. So I'll just so what is holistic health now? As Alka pointed out, this particular aspect is so critical to make all these things function well. That's the best part of it. And of course, Sriji has been teaching and helping us to strengthen our yogic practice, pranayam, meditation. I would also add gratitude as one of the, if suppose, this is what I was telling, if suppose some people say, I missed the boat, man, I was all the time was only worried about this whole vehicle, and now stuff is going on, something is not right. How do you get spiritual? Spiritual has become a dirty name, just like religion, meditation, all these they have hijacked the name and they have made it look bad. So let's talk about thanking. Just thank. I tell you what, just simple thanking. Whatever you have right now, no matter, okay, if you have a leg pain, thank for that. If you have a joint pain, thank for that. You have a joint, that's why you can say that. There are a lot of people who don't have that joint, so thank. It works magic. I can tell you that if you haven't practiced gratitude, I'm so sorry that nothing is going to make sense. Nothing. This is all above your head. So now gratitude, why is gratitude so powerful? New scientific data is coming up now. This is like in 2016. After that there have been a lot of, this is the one which I have found It was a good review paper, and of course, it has fMRI data also. It directly addresses the functional architecture of the metacognitive neural system. That is the power of gratitude. I said, how is that gratitude so good? I want to know, why is it working? Because it directly addresses the functional architecture of the met. It rewires your brain in such a manner that the entire body becomes the pharmacy. It will balance everything that you happen to have a challenge for. It will create it is a physician, it is a pharmacy, it is everything. That is the power of gratitude. As you said, that making a metacognition, this is, don't worry about all that details. Okay. So salutogenesis is about understanding the source of our health, right? So kriya, yoga, pranayam, dhyan, gratitude, all that is basically, first thing it does is it takes care of the psychological well-being. All these things, first thing they do is they sharpen metacognition, improves understanding of oneself, increases love and compassion, build resilience and coping skills, which means that whatever the challenge that might be coming your way, which will happen 100% of the time, there is not a single human being on this planet who have not had stuff happen to him. Stuff happens. How do you cope up with is that stuff happens because maybe because of prarabdha. How do you manage it is because of that is your purusharth. So that is the place where this yoga and kriya yoga, dhyan, meditation, gratitude, everything helps first take care of that. Then it takes care of your biological well-being, improves your physical health, enhances immune system, reduces inflammation, eliminates stress, anxiety, depression, genetic expression. Now, let me tell you, this pranayam, if somebody has been doing this Brahmari pranayam, they can go to a ward where they have 100 sneezing people who have COVID, and this fellow will not get it because of such a strong immune system. Why is such a strong immune system? Because he has been practicing Brahmari. If you are not practicing Brahmari, you may get or may not get. But if you are practicing Brahmari, you will not get. Absolutely sure. And then social well-being, of course, it improves your quality of life because it increases acceptance in you. You're not going to be like my way or the highway situation. If somebody is saying something, that's okay. It is from his vantage point, it is okay. It is perfectly okay. He is thinking like that. That's fine. He thinks it is 100% correct. So from his standpoint, it is correct. So you become accepting of that person's ideas, opinions, everything. You're not judgmental. And you have the power to let go of whatever stuff happens. This is the beauty of this whole thing. This thing is this particular thing, center. This is the hub, as I called it. This is the dharma, dhuri, that which holds the physical well-being, the psychological well-being, and the social well-being. Now, this first takes care of that, then it takes care of both the things. So, Rahim Das ji says, Ekai sadhe sab sadhe, sab sadhe sab jaye. Rahiman mool hai si chibo, phule phale agaye. Which means, if you water or give nutrient to the roots, then you don't have to polish every leaf over there or try to figure out why the fruits are not growing or things like that. Just get to the juice. Give the juice to the source. That's what he is telling. Start early as we can. If we have missed out, then start. If we are already 70 plus, start with gratitude. I tell you, it will improve your life. You have no idea how good it will become. It is so powerful. But if we have some other time to take care of, I started very early on. That thank to my father who did this. So anyway, so salutogenesis, or the source of health, being, well-being is you actually. And therefore, know thyself. This is powerful. And of course, thank you so much for being there for us, both of us. We try our best, but I hope it did not go above your head. Okay. Thank you very much. And this is a book that I was talking to you about. If you haven't read the gravity, the juice, the real essence of what gratitude can do to you, I would strongly recommend you read the book. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Shekhar and Alka. This was wonderful, as Anjali mentioned. Really wonderful presentation, and I really want to thank both of you. I just want to mention one or two things. One is that we are starting Ayurveda WhatsApp group, and also Om Sanduja is going to start giving talks on Ayurveda on a weekly basis, starting with the second week in September. So I know it is not related to this topic, but this group may be interested in that, so that's why I want to mention. And also the pranayam class that I every day teach, it ends with 1 minute meditation, which includes just surrendering completely to the divine and filling your heart with love and gratitude. Okay. So that's those two things I wanted to mention.
मी कॉमेंट्स मध्ये सगळ्या तुम्हा तिघांनाही थँक्यू म्हटलेलंच आहे, पण श्री, तुम्ही हे काम अतिशय छान करताय. हा तुमचा प्लॅटफॉर्म खरोखरच छान आहे, आणि आय जस्ट कीप लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू इट एव्हरी टाइम इट कम्स अप विथ इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक्स. लवली.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
You
you
are
for
very welcome. Just somehow all these good people got together. I'm not doing anything. Just they get, as Shekhar mentioned that I'm just a magnet, but people are all the good people are coming here and helping you.
You are
हा
the
खरा सत्संग आहे.
No, there is a synergy in all your thoughts and whatever you are doing. This is amazing service that you are
is the
doing to
magic.
all of us.
The magnetic magic now. I have added one more word now.
Brought the people
Together. It is so
Absolutely.
good, so good. I have my words. I cannot even have words to express my gratitude. I must say that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I agree.
Well-
We are very, very grateful to you for this.
Thank you, Padma.
And usually people complain a lot. And if you are grateful, your complaints would be less and less.
There is no, you cannot even comprehend. I mean, how do people find time for complaining? I don't get it. I really, there is so much to
we sit in traffic, we complain. We go
sit in traffic, do the breathing and do the pranayam right there. You will be happy. God, come on. When you come home, you say, your husband or wife will say, gosh, come on, you didn't work today or what? So you're so happy. Why are you so happy?
Namaste, Shekharji.
Namaste, Neeraj. How are you?
I'm fine.
You're doing well now, right? I think
Well, very well.
I think
Right.
so. Yeah.
Your help tips, your tips help me a lot.
Thank you.
So I have a very simple question to Alkaji.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned about all three doshas. So I see often the advertisement for that some Ayurveda companies that you take this and your three doshas are balanced. What is your thoughts about it?
No, honestly, that's a way of advertising, and I'm very sorry to say, and again, nothing against anybody, any company or so, but there is no way that just by taking one drug or one herb, your three doshas are going to get balanced. First of all, you need to know with the proper evaluation, either yourself or you ask any of the Ayurvedic practitioner also, to first understand who you are. And self-assessment is also very important. Of course, you can get the help. but I personally do not believe that one single herb can balance everything. There are generalized herbs which are given for all three doshas, just as a tridoshik herbs. So those herbs are okay, but anything if you're trying to balance a specific dosha, which is to pacify, or if they're to suppress, then you need a particular type of evaluation done to know which herb is right for that particular process. Because there are herbs which are used long terms, and there are some remedies which are used short term, with depending upon the doses which are given to you. So honestly, my opinion is not to, unless and until you know what you're taking. And again, generalized medications are there, generalized herbs are there, like panacea of Ayurveda, Shatavari, Ashwagandha, those things are there. Those can be used in a rasayana forms, also in the rasayana forms. So, but there is no that quick pill or quick fix as such to balance the doshas. So just like the medical that things are, or there is like, just take the aspirin and you're fine, just take the ibuprofen and you're fine. There are general categories and there are specific categories.
Yeah, very nice. So that is the good information for all the public people who are watching this. Also, you can help someone who is asking about it.
Absolutely. No, we are been,
Right.
Whatever Shri Kaka gives it to us, we all are here as team to work together.
Right.
To solve the issues. So there is and again, we do not focus on any diseases. We actually try to fix what is lacking in the person, rather than looking into the disease or looking into the conditions.
Yeah,
I have had an opportunity to witness Alka ji's, how she interacts with people. Actually, this is what Krishna did. She does just that. She talks to people. I mean, her presence itself heals them. I have seen that. She sits there and people are fine. People don't even have a problem after that. That is exactly what she is about.
Yeah.
I second that. She's amazing.
Yes.
Very nice. So Shekharji, I always like your talk about the activating the vagus nerves. Always.
Oh God. Oh my goodness, that is powerful stuff. That is the real deal.
So I hope that somebody at NIH would like to interact with you.
Nobody, come on. You're talking about final curing the person for betterment. Come, the NIH is not for that. They will.
Yeah, exactly.
No way.
But the NIH stands for health, no?
I think I must have told them in one of the interviews. How is it that, I mean, there is in the last, at the end of the talk, whatever that is, somewhere you mentioned, I say, you have any question? I say, I have one question. I think I might have said that. I said, NIH has 27 different institutes. All of them are dedicated to disease. Why don't you change the name to the National Institute of Disease?
That's the way of surviving.
They didn't like that answer, that question.
त्यांचा धंदा बसेल.
एकदम धंदा बसला असता. म्हणून मला बोलवलं नाही. म्हटलं नाही, you are not allowed here, man.
हे अलका,
एक
थोडस 2-4 मिनिटं किंवा 5 मिनिटं दोन गोष्टीवर कॉमेंट कर. ज्या दोन मला वाटतं ते सगळ्यात बेस्ट रामबाण उपायासारखे. Can I finish, Nisuji, please?
Sure.
Okay. So, मला माझ्या मते, आणि तू आयुर्वेदिक स्पेशालिस्ट एक्सपर्ट असल्यामुळे तुला विचारतोय, आणि हे जनरल पब्लिक साठी खूप चांगलं असेल की मी समहाऊ विचार करायला लागलो, आणि मला असं वाटतं की आयुर्वेदातले 2 जे चांगले औषधं असतील सध्या, ज्याच्यापासून नुकसान नाही उलट फायदेच होतील आणि डेली घ्यायला पाहिजे, ते म्हणजे अश्वगंध आणि त्रिफळा चूर्ण. त्यावर तू थोडस कॉमेंट्स केल्यावर जरा बरं वाटेल.
Absolutely, I'm glad you said this.
Alka, please repeat the question in English.
Yeah. So
yeah,
okay,
sorry.
This is an excellent question, though, and I'm glad you asked. And that's the same. Actually, it's a piggyback of what Niruji asked about. So basically, what he's asking is, in Ayurveda, there are 2 main drugs, or 2 main herbs, not the drug. Sorry, the herbs which are been called are famous for taking it on a daily basis, which is Triphala Churn and also the Ashwagandha. So yes, absolutely. So in Ayurveda, there are categories of different herbs or different medicines or different, you can say, combinations of formulations. So out of that, there is the best or the longer category or the adopted category taken for or used by people for a longer period of time is Rasayana. Rasayana is basically for given the herbs for longer period of time to keep yourself healthy. And one of the rasayanas is Triphala. So Triphala is the combination of 3 herbs together, as we all know. We grew up with Triphala. So it's Amla, Haritaki, and Bibitaki. In Marathi, it is called as Avla, Hirda, and Behda. So these are the 3 combinations, and these 3 combinations are actually have an affinity toward 3 different doshas. So Amla is more for the Pitta dosha. Haritaki is given for the Haritaki is given for the Vata dosha, and Bibitaki is given for Kapha dosha. So that's a tridoshic formulation together. So it's absolutely okay to take Triphala. And the beauty of Triphala is been the doses. So when Triphala is being given less than about approximately 1 gram, it actually works for the constipation. And when it is given more, it works for the diarrhea. And when it is given in the higher doses of 1 gram and above, that works for the constipation. So basically, that Triphala is being given for various different conditions just to balance the Agnis, because it's the combination of 3 doshas already have a strong affinity for all 3 different drugs or the herbs. Same way with Ashwagandha. There are, as I said, there are panacea of drugs in our herbs in Ayurveda. One of them, Ashwagandha, is mainly for the masculine health, and Shatavari is for the feminine health. So as soon as a boy gets to his puberty, Ashwagandha, you can start, take it for lifetime. That's not a problem at all in the lower doses. Ashwagandha is very anabolic. So as I said, the dose is very, very important what you're taking. If you're treating a particular condition rather than just a person's well-being, then those doses are arranged in a different way or given in a different way, and the anupan is different. So Ashwagandha, when you want it into anabolic side, when you want to build your muscles, build inside, or build your health, it's given always in the milk or the ghee base or the fat base. At the same time, with Shatavari is more for feminine health. So Shatavari is more cooling. On the cooling side, Ashwagandha is the heating side. So what actually we say that what men need is they are too calm, they are too cool side, that cool banda. So they just want something to heat up a little bit. And for feminine side, they want something to calm down. So that's why Shatavari is given in that way. So name itself, that Shatavari is that who can have or who can tolerate 100 husbands. So for that, she needs there are 2 different meanings also, but to have a funny meaning is like taking it into capacity to calm yourself down to deal with the stressful situations. So Shatavari is given at that. So to answer your questions, yes, it's absolutely fine to take it that way. There are dose specifics though.
आणि शेखर साठी माझा एक क्वेश्चन आहे. शेखर,
गोविंदजी प्रणाम.
तर
कॉमन मैन वाला प्रश्न होगा आपके पास. यू मस्ट बी हैविंग अ प्रश्न ऑफ कॉमन मैन.
शुअर. आणि तो प्रश्न म्हणजे कॉमन मॅनचाच आहे. खरं आहे ते की तू सेन्स ऑफ कोहेरन्स वर बोलला, आणि द पीपल हू कॅन रेकग्नाइज, अंडरस्टँड और एक्सप्लोर दॅट, they can definitely be well, I mean, they can balance their health, emotional, mental, whatever social.
Yes.
पण मला एक तुझं ऑब्झर्वेशन किंवा आउट ऑफ क्युरियोसिटी जस्ट सांग की how many people recognizing that this should be done really spend time in understanding or exploring that there is something called a sense of coherence, and we need to really think about that, adopt that, perspective in our life.
Sense of coherence is a metacognitive concept actually, and that is at the root of salutogenesis, right? So basically, very many people, as very rightly said, Niruji said that, or I don't know, somebody said, I cannot see the name because they are all spread out. So somebody said that it is very difficult. The people are constantly complaining and things like that, right? So that is basically your reactiveness, right? Anything, either you react or you respond. Most people spend time in this reacting. It becomes so reactive. So that's why the metacognition nervous system, neural network does not even form in their brain. So that's the reason why I was constantly hammering the art of gratitude, the attitude of gratitude is, even if we do not know metacognition, even if we do not know the sense of coherence, if we do not know salutogen, just do nothing. At least if you can do one thing, can you just thank? Can you just thank for that? For goodness, every breath you can thank for your own breath. If you don't find anything, what should I thank for? This is what I asked my dad. He said, "Are you breathing?" I say, "Yeah." "How else will I live if I'm not breathing?" Did you thank that breath? I said, "No." Thank. And when I did that 7 times with in deep inhalation, hold for 7 seconds, deep exhalation, hold for 7 seconds. I did that 7 times, the cycle. The entire dynamics changed for me. That was the miracle point. That was the eureka moment in my life. This is how. So if you want to have developed the sense of coherence, just thank. It will automatically lead you there. You don't even have to get into details of other things, how to do that, how do I do this, how do I do it, what should I eat. Everything will be taken care of. My father was free from all medication throughout his life. He has never fallen sick. Never. I haven't seen him. He doesn't know what headache means. This was his. Throughout his life, he was the most happy man in the planet. Most happy all the time. And this is why I said he was the man of gratitude, constantly thanking his deep breath. He used to do 1 or 2 breaths a minute. That's it. This was his level. 2 breaths a minute. Now we do 15, 16. He did 2. Anyway, 2 or 3 max. This was his level. All the time he was thanking his breath. That's it. That's it. And that made him aware of his breath. That is pranayam actually. That is not shwasayam. We are involved in shwasayam. So because we breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. We never pause. Pause is the magic. Pause is the consciousness space where healing happens. Everything happens. And that is the whole idea of Sriji's endeavor. He may not be able to express this way, but this is exactly what he's headed. He is heading you all towards that consciousness space. All of us. In whichever way he is doing it. I mean, the moment I saw what he is doing, I was like, wow, this is the man I want to learn from, man. This is the guy. This is the man. I tell you, he is doing a yeoman service to mankind. You have no idea. Yet, history will remember what he did. I'm telling you why. So, sense of coherence is very easy. Just thank. Just thank. And that is exactly the difficulty part. Difficulty, what should I thank for? I have so many problems, and my idea is stuck in problems. Which means I'm not solution finder. That's a change. The shift is from problem solving to solution finding. We have got so much used to problem solving that we get stuck in the problem. We get to the source of the problem, and the moment you go to the source of the problem, you will find more of it. Right? When if we find about the solution, let's find out the source of solution. You will get to the source of solution, which is like Niagara Falls. I mean, give me a break. This is what happens when you change just a small change in the thinking. That's it. This is what thinking about thinking means. Metacognition is that only, nothing else. And gratitude just does that at a very fundamental level by rewiring your brain. That's why I'm constantly encouraging people. When somebody comes to with a problem, I listen to him very intently, and I said, "Did you thank?" "What?" He said. I said, "What?" I said, "Did you thank your problems?" "No." "Just thank. Let's see how it works. Just thank. Even if you don't feel like, okay, repeat after me. I thank my problems."
Thank you. धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद. I
भावना जी प्रणाम.
हा नमस्कार नमस्कार.
नमस्कार.
म्हटलं आवाज फुटतोय आणि मी खूप एन्जॉय करते सगळे तुमचे टॉक, अलकाचे टॉक, त्याचे पुस्तक खूप शिकवतंय मला, खूप शिकवतंय. मी त्याचं आपण बोललोय त्याच्याबद्दल.
हो.
अजून सुरू आहे प्रयोग माझे आणि खरंच मला बरं वाटायला लागलं हे सगळं
Very-
करता करता.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
तुला पण धन्यवाद, अलका तुला पण धन्यवाद.
Again, many of you, in case you don't know, on 16th of September, we have Yoga Day at a farm in Gaithersburg, Maryland. And I see many of you that are here attending are also going to be there for the, at the farm. You will meet both Alka and Shekhar in person. And again, so that is going to be a great opportunity for you to interact directly with them. So.
Kaka, I think there are a couple of questions, I believe. I'm sorry, I didn't see it before.
Okay.
Someone is, Smita Narvekarji, she's asking if we wanted to know how do you identify whether you are that particular dosha? Is it based on the characteristic slide you showed, or yeah? So actually, there is a way of doing it. If you want to evaluate yourself, there is a questionnaire which comes. But if you ask me, there is a way of looking just by your face. Also, there are some basic constitutions you can figure it out. Vikruti will be a little bit difficult to find out, but Prakriti you can see by looking at your face and your body structure. So there are ways to do it. And there is another one. This is asked. So women should avoid ashwagandha. No, there is no rule as such that women should avoid ashwagandha. It is also been given for particular conditions where women can also take ashwagandha and shatavari both. So it's not like they should avoid ashwagandha. I think that's about it. Thank you again.
I had one question. The questionnaire, does it tell you the Prakriti or Vikruti?
That tells you the Prakriti.
Okay.
The Prakriti of yours.
And how do you find out your Vikruti?
So Vikruti is actually with the questionnaire, the other questionnaire, which are mainly for me, it is the tongue analysis. Looking at the tongue, there are ways to know where you stand.
Okay.
Because tongue is like a complete mapping. It will never lie. Or just like blood, the tongue will never lie.
Okay.
What about the pulse? Some people do
The pulse is also the way, but I'm more trained into the tongue analysis over the pulse.
Thank you.
There was this friend of mine from India. I think we did a seminar together, Pramesh Ratnakar, on Parkinson's disease, remember? Yeah. And I asked him one day, I said, do you happen to have constipation? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, show me your tongue. Immediately I sensed it. I said, this is lying. He said, your tongue is coated. Do you have constipation? Come on, don't lie. Don't lie. And then he said, oh yeah, I remember. I didn't want to, expose my ignorance about, or didn't want to embarrass myself. That's why I said, we know how to figure it out. Don't worry about it. And so that is exactly what, when the Manipura chakra or your vagus nerve activation is not happening, that's exactly what happens. Neurodegenerative diseases are originating at the gut, all of them. So gut and of course brain axis, which is triggered by vagus nerve activation, is the most fundamental thing in neuroscience. If you want to have brain health, you better have the gut health proper, and that's exactly why this doshas and all that has to be taken care of very well.
Alka ji.
Yes, Prakash.
Namaste. Very good presentation. Excellent. I learned from both of you today. Excellent.
Thank you.
And stimulating. So the question I have, and if I may, a lot of people take medication, right? for
Uh-huh.
blood pressure, diabetes, whatever it may be, right?
Mhm.
So now, does that potentially can change the prakriti that you are born with or something? Or is there any possibility of that changing? And would you know that maybe?
Yeah, so the Prakriti will not change, but Vikruti will change, or there will be a Vikruti happening, because when you are taking the drugs, remember those are made synthetically, those are made in labs. Even
Right.
though they are sourced from the plant-based, most of the drugs are, but they are made in lab synthetically. So it does changes your body, the body's way of looking at it. So dosha will aggravate or dosha will suppress when you're taking those medications. So there is that's why the way Shekhar has said, that looking at your tongue, it will tell us which dosha needs to be pacified or which the dosha needs to be worked on. And first thing first is the Agni, which needs to be fixed. Because as he mentioned, everything starts from digestion. So if even before you start any Ayurvedic herbs, the first thing needs to be fixed is the digestion. Because unless and until you fix the digestion, no matter how many drugs, how many herbs you take, nothing is going to get absorbed if your digestion is not fixed.
And that's what Shekharji mentioned in the Manipur chakra, right, Shekharji?
Yes, yes,
Right?
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
correct. Right.
Most important chakra is Manipura chakra in the whole entire body. It controls even the Agya chakra, it controls Sahasrara chakra, every chakra is controlled by Manipura. Manipura chakra is the Ram Bij mantra there, right? So this
Right.
is
Yeah.
this is where we were fed when you were in mother's womb. This is the place where one has to take good care of it. Manipura chakra is very, very important for all entire. If we can handle 3 chakras in our body, the Muladhara, the Swadhisthana, and the Manipura chakra, we have lived life the best possible way. There is nothing, because this is when you take care of these 3, everything else taken care of by itself, because they take care of it the whole rest of the whole day. You don't even have to exert effort to getting there. Automatically it happens. Thank you.
So wonderful. All the gratitude to Shri
Yes,
for
yes.
He's the one.
because
He's
of
the
who
one.
I am now, teaching yoga and understanding the basis of everything. I don't have expressed my words towards it.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
very humbly gratitude towards Shri also.
Yes. Yeah, all of us in this audience, amongst all of this, if we can just thank every day Sriji, that is sense of coherence. You get sense of coherence immediately. It's awesome.
I think the in the morning pranayam classes, when I say good morning to everyone, that creates really a wonderful atmosphere. I think that's
Yes.
so whether it is thanking
Yeah.
or saying good morning, that creates a very good atmosphere in the class, I think.
Yes.
And Guruji, you do it so warmly. I really wonder, like, how you can pronounce each one's name and then
I know, this is
get
amazing.
to the
It's
point
just amazing.
to
You
reach
are
out to
actually
everyone.
acknowledging their presence, which makes it very important.
Yeah.
Just lift them up immediately, just the way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Lovely session. Learned a lot.
By the way, hats off to
morning session
Shobhatai. Shobhatai starts her day from 8 o'clock in the morning for the BFM session. She wakes up in the
Today
morning
is
for
my
us.
third session. Yes,
I know.
Oh yeah,
Same way
even Aruna did the
same way with
Both
Aruna
are with
Yes.
teacups in their
Yes.
hands.
Yeah.
मला
I've
प्रश्न
been-
होता सबनीस साहेब, सकाळच्या मेडिटेशनचे टेप्स आहेत तुमच्या, तुम्ही
Aruna, मी तुझ्याशी share करीन. He has shared with me.
Okay.
Excellent. Yes.
मला
I
share
will
कर.
share with you. I will send you right away. Yes. And I
Thank you.
practice in the morning. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, send it to me. Thank you. Thank
How
you.
can we contact Alka for private consultations, and what's the cost of the first one?
So let me share my pharmacy's or wellness center's website, and all the information is over there. Let me just share it over here.
And are we getting the recording of this session?
Yes.
But thank you.
Sure.
Thanks a lot. Lovely session.
All right. Thank you, everyone. If there are no questions, we can end the meeting. Padma, you want to say something? Or
No, I just was thanking you.
Just one more question. Alka, can you do the tongue diagnosis on Zoom or on FaceTime or WhatsApp by phone?
So if it is the tongue analysis, I usually ask people to send me the tongues a day before, because I prefer to have pictures taken first thing in the morning, and also during the day when there is no food or drink taken, especially coffee. So because sometimes the coating changes in the afternoon as well. So if you can send a day before, or maybe just a day before is more than enough.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Rekanji, Subita here.
hello, Sumita.
Yeah, just want to express my gratitude to be in this great energy, in the presence of Mayanil and Alka ji. Feeling so grateful. Thank you so much for your wisdom.
And Sumita arranged the the SSVT yoga where both Shekhar and Alka were there. So thank you, Sumita.
Thank you very much, Shriji, Shekhar ji, and Alka ji. It was excellent presentation.
Thank
you.
So gratitude to all the viewers and all the participants, without them also not a good discussion, it's very nice. Post-presentation discussion is very nice.
Most important discussion for a person is Govindji.
Yeah.
वक्ता पण हवा आणि श्रोता पण हवा.
अरे बाबा अरे बाबा
I just love Govindji. Oh, this man is awesome.
एवढे लोक आहेत आणि माझं कुठेच डोक्यावर मला नाचवतो विनाकारण. साधा राहू दे जमिनीवर, जसा चालतो तसा राहू दे शेवटपर्यंत.
कॉमन मैन को ऊपर उठाना है भाई, उद्धार करना है ना, कॉमन मैन का उद्धार करना.
नमस्कार.
नमस्कार.
Namaste, Bhavna.
Also say, right? Okay. Good.
दोन का थोडा. आणि शेखरजी, तुम्ही जे काही बोललात ते डोक्यात गेलंय, डोक्यावरनं नाही गेलं.
That's very good. That's what I wanted to try my best to tone it down to the level I can. Do not want anybody to say that, oh gosh, I did not know anything. Thank you, sir. Govindji, you raise your hand.
I look forward to the recording of the whole session.
तो चुकीने झाला. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
All right.